There's a point where anger turns into something far darker, where love twists into cruelty, and what was once a home becomes a scene of unimaginable horror. For Kristina Yoksimovic, her nightmare didn't end with her death. What happened next was so twisted, so beyond belief, that it left even seasoned investigators shaken. In February of 2024, in a quiet neighborhood in Binningen, Switzerland, police discovered something out of a nightmare. Inside the home of Mark Reben, they found evidence of a crime so grotesque it defied explanation. Kristina wasn't just a beauty queen, she was a force of nature. As a finalist for Miss Switzerland, she had poise, charm, and a kind of grace that drew people to her. She wasn't just beautiful, she was kind, warm, and ambitious. But behind the public image, her life was far from perfect. Her marriage to Mark had started like a fairy tale. He was smart, successful, and charismatic, everything you'd want in a partner. But as the years went on, his charm began to crack. Mark grew controlling, his insecurities taking over, and Kristina found herself trapped in a relationship that had turned toxic. Friends knew she was struggling. She confided in them about Mark's anger and the violent outbursts that had become more frequent. But like so many others in abusive relationships, she felt stuck, unsure how to escape. Then came that fateful February day. An argument between Mark and Kristina spiraled out of control. He later claimed it was self-defense, but the evidence told a much darker story. Mark strangled Kristina to death. That alone is horrifying, but what he did afterward is the stuff of nightmares. I hate to even say it, but he dismembered her body using a jigsaw and garden shears. As if that wasn't horrific enough, he then placed parts of her body into a blender, mixing them with chemicals in a twisted attempt to cover up his crime. The level of depravity here is just beyond words. Neighbors, alarmed by strange smells and noises, called the police. When officers arrived, they found a scene straight out of a horror movie. The tools, the blender, the overwhelming smell of chemicals. It was all there. Mark tried to play the victim, claiming he acted in self-defense. But the evidence didn't lie. The autopsy revealed no signs that Kristina fought back. There were no injuries on Mark to suggest she attacked him. This wasn't a fight gone wrong. This was calculated, deliberate murder. The case shocked Switzerland, and it shocked me too. As I read through the details of what happened, I couldn't help but feel a deep, gnawing disgust. Not just for what Mark did, but for how someone can go from loving another person to destroying them in such a brutal, dehumanizing way. It's hard to wrap your mind around something like this. How does someone look at the person they once promised to love and choose violence instead? And not just violence, but cruelty that defies all humanity? It's terrifying to think that evil like this can hide in plain sight, in someone's home, in their marriage, in their life. Kristina didn't deserve this. No one does. And as horrifying as this story is, it's a stark reminder of the silent struggles many face and the darkness that some hide behind closed doors. Stay curious and keep listening.